Well, hello there. I thought I would share why I lost all my friends when I moved into my van. I feel like this might not be the reason or story that you guys expect it to. It has really nothing to do with distance, and I also don't think this is going to happen to you if you're wanting to move into a van. I think this is a pretty unique situation, and I just thought I would explain, but I also think it's unique, but it's also relatable. I've heard so many people have similar experiences whenever they decide to pursue a dream of theirs, whether that's van life or like starting a business or getting healthy or whatever that dream is. So to give you some backstory on my friend group, I had been friends with some of these people for over a decade. I met a lot of them in middle school, some of them early in high school, and we stayed really close and had a group of like a few people that were in like the group that like just stayed together through it all, kind of. We were together through the first boyfriends and girlfriends, and like we drank together for the first time, and we like grew up together, and then we went to college and we still were that friend group. Like we'd come back and we still had a really close-knit friend group whenever we were all in the same area. But our friend group was heavily tied together with drugs, alcohol, drinking, and just clubbing and kind of doing crazy things together. I think I read a comment of somebody saying they didn't think I was a wild child, but I actually was a wild child. I don't know if that's unexpected or if you guys could predict that, but I was very much a wild child. I got in a lot of fights with my parents at the time. I felt extremely misunderstood by them because they are so different from me. I've always loved art and that sort of stuff, and they're all like engineers and doctors and lawyers, and my mom's Chinese, and so she really has a priority on that side of things, and I've always loved like traveling and art and experiences and stuff like that. So I would say I was quite a troubled kid, and I don't think that my friend group was necessarily the best influence on me, but I don't think like they were an influence on me at the same time. Like I chose to be in that friend group, and I was attracted to that friend group for a reason, and also they're beautiful people at the same time in many ways too, but that was kind of the nature of our friendship. Sorry if there's like background noises. I'm at a rest stop, there's cars driving by, and Zeus is eating some nuts right now. So yeah, my friends kind of bonded over that, like drinking and drugs and stuff like that, until about freshman year of college. I started rock climbing and getting really into the outdoors and spirituality and like self-help books and stuff like that. And I realized that my dream in life was really to travel and be the best version of myself as possible and to make the world a better place. And I don't know, like all these kind of more wholesome things, I guess, I just realized were more fulfilling to me than partying all the time. And so I started getting more into like the outdoors and stuff, which is something that I wasn't super into in high school and when I was friends with them, because again, I was just partying all the time. So yeah, that's something we didn't fully relate to. Like none of them rock climbed or really like enjoyed the outdoors in that way. Like none of them were big hikers or backpackers, or I don't even think any of them had really camped, which is fine. It's okay if you don't camp, but we started having different interests a bit with that, and it was just something we couldn't relate to. Sophomore year of college is when I got super depressed, and I was struggling with those friendships I was having. I really was, and I had been for a couple years. It had been an on and off thing where I had recognized a lot of toxic traits within that friend group. We would talk behind each other's backs all the time. We would say things to kind of like put each other down and just do things that weren't the nicest to each other and do things that weren't nice to other people. Like I don't know, I just think that our friend group didn't act in ways that I feel proud of, and I do feel that I was influenced a bit by that friend group. Like even though I take responsibility for my action, I was willingly in that group. Inevitably your social surroundings do affect you a little, and I am not proud of some of the things I did when I was in that friend group. So yeah, I had been questioning it and had been really feeling not so great in those friendships, but I had no other friends really, and that was all I knew. I mean, I had other friends, but like not in that time of my life. I just didn't really have other people, and they were the people that were in my location, and we had been friends for so many years that it just felt really heavy to kind of distance myself. And it felt like a big decision because they were a constant in my life for so many phases. And I think the reason I was so depressed during that phase of my life is because I was living for somebody else. The entire reason I was in university is basically for my mom, who's Chinese and really has such a focus on like grades and academics and a degree and getting a job that's like a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. Like that was her dream for me. And really, I know her dream for me was just being able to have money to support myself and being happy and being free and self-sustaining. But I think there was a lot of fear, and I don't think she saw or could see any role models or anybody really make a life that was something she perceived as realistic from what I wanted to do, which was art and travel. Like, she just thought that it was like too much of a fairy tale and it wasn't possible. Hi, I missed you. So yeah, I was kind of living for her. I was going to university for her. I would always bring up the discussion like, hey, I want to drop out, and it would always kind of end in an explosive argument. And my parents made it really clear like they would not support that decision. They were not okay with it, and they thought it was a really bad idea. But it got to a point where I realized that I was so unhappy, and that's what my mental health was going to look like if I pursued a career path and a life that I didn't really want, but my parents wanted for me. And so at that point I said, I don't care if you don't support me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to drop out, I'm going to save up, and I'm gonna build a van. So I know that like the parental side of things doesn't really have much to do with the friendship, but in some ways it does, because it kind of shows the state of mind I was in at the time, where I was really depressed and I was kind of feeling alone and misunderstood and isolated already with my family. And then my friends like didn't really help the situation, and it all just kind of like felt like a lot. And my parents were really discouraging, so it would have been really nice to have like friends or somebody else to go to that made me feel understood. I know I didn't need anybody's support either. Like, the whole reason I dropped out is like I don't need my parents' support. I don't need anybody's support. At this point, first off, I've hit rock bottom. There's no going down from here. And also, like, I believe in myself. I don't need you to believe in me. I know that I'm gonna make this work, and I can feel that this is the path that I'm supposed to go on. But my friends said some comments that kind of just made me realize and illuminated that I really needed distance with these friendships. These friendships were not healthy. These people did not support me. They would intentionally say stuff to put me down, and that's not what friends do. And even though I didn't have a like-minded community to give me faith that there was something better beyond that friend group, I also knew my worth. Like, deep down, I knew that I was worth more than how I was being treated in those friend groups. And there were a couple comments that were said that to this day I still remember, because they impacted me a lot. Like, I was in a really vulnerable state. So one of the comments was like right after I dropped out, and I was like, I'm gonna pursue my dreams, like I'm going to build a van, I'm gonna save up. One of my friends told me I was selfish. Like, it's a selfish thing to drop out of university because you're privileged, like your parents are paying for university, so it's selfish. And basically, like, somebody else could want an education and they don't have their parents paying for it or whatever. And I understand the logic. Like, my parents were paying for my university. I mean, that's not something everybody's able to do, and I'm so privileged and so grateful that they even offered to do that. At the same time, like, I almost think the opposite of that way, because my parents are not loaded. Like, they don't have all the money to just spend on my university, and they were stressed out about spending that money. I knew that I wasn't going to use that degree. Like, I didn't want a 9-to-5 job, and if I pursued the career that my parents wanted me to pursue, I honestly feel like I would have been depressed or not fully satisfied. If I got the degree and then didn't use it, in a way I feel like it wouldn't be respectful to my parents, because they just paid for this and wasted so much money on something I'm not even going to use and I didn't even learn from. I mean, of course you learn from university, but like I don't know, I really didn't like university. I didn't like high school either. Like, I really like learning on my own. I've never really done good in classrooms. Like, I've never liked that. I don't learn that way. I don't know. I don't learn that well that way. I mean, you always learn something, but it just wasn't my thing. Like, I didn't really like it. I wasn't very, like, into the classroom like some people are. Like, it was a difficult period of time for me. Also, I'm in university taking up a spot that could be used by someone else that actually wants to be there and actually is going to use the degree that they get. So, I don't know, it just kind of felt like an unnecessary comment, and it just felt like something to put me down, honestly. To put me down and make me feel insecure about my decision for dropping out, which I already felt like was really hard for me to make because my parents were so against it. The next comment that was made really sent it over the edge, and I was like, okay, I really do not deserve to be viewed this way and talked to this way, and this isn't the friendships I want in my life. So they said, oh, my brother watched your videos, and my brother was like, who would ever watch Sarah's videos? They're so stupid. But they didn't say it in a way that was like, oh, that's so mean of my brother for saying. They said it in a way, like, they brought it up out of the blue, and they said it in a way of like, ha, yeah, they're right. Like, feel insecure about your videos, like, feel insecure about your art. It's just not the friendships I was really wanting to have. I want to support my friends wholeheartedly, and I want them to support me. So I kind of realized with those comments and some other small ones that were being said that these weren't the healthiest relationships for me. And even though I didn't have like confirmation that I was gonna find like-minded people, if I like kind of ended those friendships, I knew that I would just have to have faith in it and just have faith that there are so many people out there, and I was going to find people that could provide healthier relationships with me, and like we could understand each other better. So it kind of happened a little bit naturally. Some of them there were like explosive things. You know, when people are toxic, they like want to make things explosive, I feel, and it can't just be like a natural distancing. I decided to stop drinking. I decided to go celibate. I decided to stop doing drugs. Like, I didn't want to spend money on anything, and I just wanted to work on being the best version of myself and save up so much money for the van. So it kind of happened organically. Like I said, sometimes people are toxic and they need an explosion, so they create something. And I mean, I also think that part of it was like they were sad, like whether or not they even realize it, and if it was subconscious. Like, we were friends for so long, and I think subconsciously there was some form of sadness or feelings of abandonment that I was beginning to distance myself from those friendships, which I totally understand. But I also like needed to do what I feel like was best for my mental health at that time, and I just don't think those friendships were that for me. I also think that part of it is that misery loves company, and I just think that like whenever you decide you're going to pursue a dream, you're going to pursue a healthier lifestyle, whether that means like losing weight or getting really fit, or like you're going to do a marathon, you're going to start your dream business, you're going to, you know, like backpack across the world or something, or whatever it is. Like, I think people that are really close to us in our lives sometimes feel a little intimidated and scared by that, because everybody can level up. Like, everybody can pursue their wildest dreams. We can all make steps, whether that's reading books and learning about whatever it is you want, or like not drinking alcohol, like I said, to save money. If you're in a bad state, it's really hard to see that you can do that. And if you see someone close to you finally like saying they're going to, it can be like kind of I don't know, it can make you feel defensive, it can make you feel isolated and alone, and sometimes you just want to like drag them in or keep them in and down, and you don't want them to grow like selfishly because you want to stay with them. So yeah, I think that played a factor in why those friendships ended as well. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think it's fair to bring people down because you're feeling that, to say little comments to make people feel bad. Like, I just think that that's mean. And so I don't know, I feel really good about it though. Like, the friends I have in my life right now are so amazing. There's flies everywhere, but I'm so grateful for the friendships I have right now. I feel so good about them. They are like my dream relationships and friendships. They're so healthy. I love the way we like communicate, and I don't know, I'm just like obsessed, and I'm really, really glad I kind of like ended and left that friend group, even though it was so long, because I really do think it was really toxic and it was prohibiting me from growing. Hi, bubbies. Oh, yay. Anyways, if you are in toxic relationships or friendships right now, my heart goes out to you. You are so strong. You are so beautiful. You are loved, and you will find people out there who respect you and who understand you, and just have faith and confidence in that no matter what way you decide to navigate those toxic, you know, obviously that's just like kind of a very simplified version of the complexity of relationships, but you will find that. I have faith that you'll find that. Like, I know that you will. I don't know. Yeah. But no matter what way you decide to navigate those friendships, just know that. And yeah, I think that's it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Zeus is purring at something that he's excited about. What do you love up there, huh? Anyways, I'm gonna end this video. I will see you guys in the next one. I post them every single Saturday. So yeah, do you want to say bye? Can you say bye? Can you say bye? He doesn't want to say bye today. But love you guys. Bye.